Hey, this is Prometheus giving you the second part of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive scheme. I'm going to be breaking down doubles out of two formations, single back doubles, and the other formation is going to be the regular gun doubles. I'm going to go ahead and jump in the gun doubles, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip into the single back doubles. And in the bottom of the description of this video, you'll be able to jump to either one of the formations, whatever your preference is. Just a reminder, this is the second part of a 4-part series for the Buccaneers playbook. It should be a part of the playlist. You'll be able to find links down at the bottom. And what I will do is actually go ahead and run these in live games so you can see how opponents adjust to them, what types of difficulties I have with this particular scheme. I can tell you that building up this scheme was a learning lesson from Jacksonville that it didn't have outside routes, so that's going to be concentrating on some outside routes. Alright, so the gun, basically the audibles are slants. It's going to be also 4 verticals. Are going to be and also the play action dagger. Now I'm not really going to be concerned about the audibles in this particular set. Off tackle is the other one. I'm going to be more concerned about the base plays. And the 2 plays that I really like a lot are angle smash. I love this play, ran this a lot in Madden 14, Madden 15. And also Bucks drive wheel. Used to run this play years ago, I think back in 2014, so I want to go ahead and show you down the breakdown. So let's just go with angle smash. Great play to go ahead and pick up a first down when you got a 3rd and short situation. Now I like to make 2 adjustments on this particular play. First and foremost, I like to take my tight end and put him on a hook route. And the reason why is that it gives me a man read. Usually the tight end will get a free release, and I know I can rifle the ball to him on a hook route for an easy first down against man coverage. The other thing I like to do is on the backside, I like to go ahead and take my wide receiver and put him on a slant that gives me some depth, gets me about 7 or 6 yards. Another area against any kind of cover 3 blitzes or cover 2 blitzes. Now my first progression, my first read is going to be my tight end. See if it's a man or a zone coverage. If it is zone and the defenders float up, I'll check down to Martin on the angle route, and then I'll also go ahead and take a look at Jackson on the slant route. And obviously if it's man coverage and I catch my opponent cheating with his backside safety, which would be the safety that's over the triangle wide receiver, he's coming down to try to take away the angle hook route combination, I know that Murphy should be wide open on it. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the formation and see where I'm going to throw to. So let's go in instant replay. So my first progression is going to be right here, and basically I'm going to watch him and see what happens. Now as you can see, his defender that was lined over him just pulled away and went into his zone. So I know that his zone is going to be cleared out, and basically I'll be able to go ahead and check the running back underneath, and that's an easy 5-yard completion. So if you're in a situation where you only need about 4 or 5, maybe 3 or 4 yards, this is a nice little play to do that. And as you can see on the back side, you've got a slant streak concept, or actually a slant out concept, where this wide receiver will be wide open too on that route combination. So let's just go back to this play again so we can see it against another coverage. We go ahead and take my tight end and go ahead and put him on a curl route, slant up my backside wide receiver Jackson, and go ahead and make my progressions. This is man coverage, and when you do a pass lead down, you can pick up easy yards with that. So once again, I'm making my first read as a tight end, and as you can see, I've got 2 defenders in the area, but I'm able to do a quick pass lead because they've got to stay over the top of the coverage, and I can get an easy completion. Now on the backside too, with this, I've got these crossing routes right here. So depending on whether my opponent, if he's using a lot of man coverage, I can always go ahead and focus on this side and see which one of these 2 receivers actually breaks. So if I've got an opponent that uses a lot of man coverage, then I can go ahead and try to find out who breaks. Right here, the inside position is done by Jackson, so he would have got an easy completion too for a good 10 yards. So this is a fairly easy play to run, highly effective. You can pick up some pretty good monster yards with it. You can get nice, first downs with it. So it's a nice play to go ahead and check into, especially if you call it as a set play and then basically go into another formation and then come back to it again. So that's what I really do like about this play a lot, is that angle route. It's such a unique route. So let's jump into the other play. Now the other play I like is the Bucks drive, and basically what you can leave the auto motion in especially if you hit your opponent with a spot, or maybe you want to hit him with a slip screen or stuff like that. But with Buck's drive wheel, I'm going to do essentially the same setup with the tight end. I'm going to go ahead and take him and put him on a hook route, give me a fast read for man coverage, and then I've got the motion wide receiver moving across the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I got man coverage. If not, I've actually got another inside route by the slot receiver. I can pick up some pretty major yards. So what's great about this play is that you've got that crossing wide receiver in zones and in man coverages that's gonna force your opponent to come down and attack that. And if he's using a backside safety against you on this particular motion route, especially if you keep showing the motion, sometimes you can hit him with that deep post and get a major touchdown on it. So this is a nice little play that you can go ahead and throw into your scheme. The running back, obviously, if your opponent's coming into some kind of a cover 3 route or some kind of a blitz, you can probably dump it off to the running back, but he's really not my first progression. I'm going to be looking for the tight end, I'll be looking for the crossing route, and then obviously the post up the middle is going to be my first progressions. That backside route by Jackson is something I'm not going to use at all, primarily because it takes too long to develop with that post corner route. So this is a good play to go ahead and sprinkle in with the formation. You could conceivably go ahead and take away the motion and just leave it in there. Then you can just try to go ahead and tackle with the post route with this particular formation. So that's what I do like about it. It is a nice little compliment that you can hit your opponent with, and you can see right here. Look at Martin just totally blow away his man right there in that particular situation. So let's go ahead and jump into single back doubles. I like single back doubles primarily because the audibles allow me to attack all different areas of the field. It's just a better setup of plays, so that's what I really like about it. So let's go ahead and jump on that right now. Now, single back doubles is going to be a good complement. You can interchangeably jump into these plays. Once again, I got a flanker drive. I've got a Z spot. I've got a halfback toss crack. So if you want to sprinkle it in, I'm not going to break these down because this concept of plays I have broken down on numerous occasions. Just take a look at my past now, what I do like about this is one of my standard audibles is play action fork Y corner. It gives me 2 corner routes from the tight end and from the slot wide receiver, so it allows me to attack to the outside. Base run is inside zone. It's not going to get the best run blocking because it's not an offset running back, but you will get very good running with it. Slants, another concept you can do. And what's really good about this formation too, it comes with a halfback draw. So you've got an opponent that uses a lot of coverage, cover 3 zones, cover 4 zones. These plays, draws, still are extremely effective against somebody that drops a lot of people in coverage. You can really attack them with that. Another play right here is slot seam. This kind of works like a verticals, and you also have a deep out that you can hit, and then you've got that time release play right there. And if I wanted to, I could sprinkle in the play action boot against my opponent. And the other run play that I would actually use would be the halfback cutback. So let's go ahead and use the halfback cutback first as our base run and see if we can get this to go. Right, so this cutback play is not exactly the best running play out there, but it is fairly effective if you get an opponent that's trying to protect off to the right side. Now, your basic audible is going to be the inside zone. So you can use this as a complement to attack the other side. And really what you're going to do is you're going to look for this seal right here. It kind of works like a counter. So this tackle should be coming up and trying to seal off the inside. And it's a trap, it's a counter. This guard is going to be taking out that defensive tackle, so he should be able to go ahead and hit him on the ground. And as you can see right there, because there's a seal off to the right hand side and that guard takes out that defensive tackle, you should have a hole to be able to run up there and pick a good 5 or 6 yards. Now, if you find an extra defenders over there, what you can do is you can switch into the inside zone, and essentially what you're going to do is you're going to look for that double team on the line, and you're going to try to run behind that double team. So what you're going to be doing, you're going to be looking for the double team, and you can see the double team actually comes up right here on this tackle with the center and the guard, and that's who you're going to run behind or run in between. So Kuechly actually takes a good position right there to go ahead and stop Martin, but you can see you do have a hole right there that you can get into because that center doesn't get up to Kuechly quick enough. So this is kind of a good concept, a good running concept. It's a dual-headed monster. You can run to the left and you can run to the right. It allows you to take side of the center to go ahead and try to pick up some pretty good yards. Now the first audible that you can pick out of this play is going to be slants. I have broken down slants on numerous occasions with my playbooks. You can go ahead and take a look at the slant concept down here. What's great about this play is you can attack either side of the field. You're not going to be stuck with any kind of a running back that's going to force you to go to the wing route either one of the ways. So this is a good slants is a good play to do that. Do take in mind that if you're running against a lot of man coverage, the guy can do it inside man with slants, so you don't really want to go to this play too much. Now, what's good about this particular formation and why I picked this out is because I did run into an opponent that I ran into a couple opponents that ran a lot of man coverage and did inside coverage. I was not able to get good releases with my wide receiver, so this has got outside audibles that I can go to. Now, slot seam kind of works kind of like a verticals a little bit there because you've got that deep fly route by Murphy. But you also have a deep out route by Evans, and then I've got a little in route by Mr. Jenkins, and then I've got a release route by Martin. So really my progressions are going to be from right to left. I'm going to look at Evans first, and then I'll probably go ahead and look at Jenkins and see if he's actually getting, if he's open in the seam, and then I'll go ahead and just take a shot at Murphy going across the middle. And then my last read is going to be Martin in the flat. If no defender comes out to him, he should be wide open, and I could actually pick up some pretty good yards underneath. So right here, as you can see, I'm actually go ahead and caught the ball right there with Evans, but you can do an outside pass lead with the out route and pick up some pretty easy yards. Now the next progression is the check down, and the check down can pick up some pretty good yards if those routes are taken away. Once again, my first progression is going to be this out route, and I could have took that route. I'll just do a down and away pass lead, and as you can see, he's getting about 12 yards, so you can pick up a good 9 yards on that route every time. My next progression is going to be this wide receiver, or this tight end. This tight end was actually covered like a blanket, and then when I progressed up to my next read, it was basically two safeties over top, so I did not get to get the free release with this slot receiver. So then I've got the check down with the running back. He actually comes up, and I can pick up some easy yards underneath. Just a little grasping problem. And if he leaves the scene open, you just go ahead and take it. So his defenders came down. He was blitzing a lot. So once again, I'm looking at my progression over here. I could go ahead and take that, but this guy's floating up. He's going to take away that corner out. So I know that's an ugly route to go to. I've got this guy that's actually going to be open, and I can actually throw pass lead underneath. But as you can see, the safety came down and then went away, so there was nobody over the middle, and quickly no linebackers be able to go ahead and get to that area, so I'm able to go ahead and rifle the ball and pick up an easy touchdown with this play. So slot seam is a very good play to go ahead and run against your opponent, to try to go ahead and hit him onto the outside, and also hit him to seams and force him to kind of defend different areas of the field. The next play I really like a lot is play action fork Y corner, and the reason why I like this play is because I've got two corner routes that I can attack my opponent with. I'm going to go ahead and block my running back because it takes time for these routes to develop. And another thing I can do is I can go ahead and either slant or drag up my wide receiver to give me a fast read against my defense. Now I like to go ahead and do a drag route, because if I see the corner actually coming down, then I know I've got man coverage. Most players are not going to zone up a defensive back and let a drag cross go across. They're usually going to leave those corners either on man coverages or zone coverages, and it's going to pretty much give you a tell. So that's why I like using drags. It gives me a tell. So my progressions are once and foremost, I'm going to look at Evans. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens to his defender that's over him, which is Josh Norman, is one of the best defensive backs in the game. I'm going to see if he follows. If he follows, I know I've got the deep corners wide open, and then I have a deep post with Jackson over the top. If he does not follow, then essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the levels concept. I'll watch for Evans. I'll see if I can hit Murphy, and then I've got Jackson over the top. So just go ahead and snap the ball. It is zone, so I'll just go ahead and check down for those easy yards. It may be more with the drag route. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my wide receiver, and as you can see, everybody's floating up. This tight end, if I was to rifle the ball right away, would be would be someone I can get the ball to immediately. But I also got this corner post route combination, and the post is actually covered up by the 2, and also this corner is covered up by 2 because of the way this is set up. So you can see it's an easy progression to go ahead and take that drag. You know, if you need more than just a few yards, or if it's like a third down situation, you can always slant up Evans to give you your man read, and he should get some pretty good separation and can pick up some pretty good yards because that hole in the middle of the field is going to get separated. Right now the safeties are coming down. It's probably going to give me a zone open over the top, and it is. And right there I can go ahead and hit the post to pick up some pretty easy yards that way. And once again, you got these stock corner routes that you can beat a lot of man coverages, especially if your opponent is trying to stop inside routes. This is a nice play you can use against your opponent if he uses a lot of man coverages or comes in those occasional blitzes to pick up some pretty good yards. So once again, this is the second part of this 4-part series. You can go ahead and just stay in the playlist or click on the links below. And I'll just to remind you, I'll be using this in live games against opponents just to see how they adjust to these schemes, how they go ahead and adjust these different plays, and how they go ahead and try to stop them. And you can see firsthand how live opponents actually go ahead and attack these schemes with their defensive mindset. So I really appreciate all my supporters, and until next time.